What's up, you guys? If you're new here, my name is LaKayla Frazier, and I am the host of Unapologetically Me podcast. I'm usually starting the video off with high energy, but there's been a lot going on lately that I just want to get off my chest. So I'm just gonna get straight into this video, and I'm kind of recording two different ways. I'm recording on my iPad for Spotify, and I'm also recording on my phone for YouTube because I do a video for YouTube and then I do audio for Spotify. This is my very first episode for Spotify, but we're 12 episodes in for YouTube. So my Spotify listeners, I am available on YouTube at Unapologetically Me podcast. So yeah, let's get into it. So it's been a lot that's been going on. And if you hear my son, sorry, he's in the background watching Coco Melon. So mom first, businesswoman immediately after. But I just want to get this off my heart. First of all, it's a lot. So this video is going to be a little longer than usual, which is okay because we are down for good conversation. So what I want to speak on is, for one, and if you're not spiritual, that's okay. I respect everybody's beliefs. But I was chosen to be the generational curse breaker of my family, of my generation. And I was blessed with a baby boy, so that and part of that lesson was to apply the generational curses that you've broken onto your son. Meaning, don't bring the same behavior that was passed down to you onto your son. So I'm doing things a lot different with my son than how I was raised. And I feel like a lot of people are triggered by that. For example, my son, I don't allow him to eat meat. There on rare occasions, I will allow him to have a little chicken. Like if I let him go to a family gathering and there's a lot of food there, I will sometimes, allow it. It's fine, because I know that I keep my son clean and detoxed of toxins and all of the unhealthy things that the world put out for us to put into our bodies. And me knowing and being conscious of what certain foods does to our bodies, I just know not to allow my son to eat those things. Another thing I'm learning to break generational curses is, my son's 1 year old, 16 months. And when he is up in that age, I will allow him to express whatever he feels, even if it's a swear word, because we forget that I think our parents get stuck into this, oh, I'm the parent, you're the kid, you need to respect me regardless, no matter what. You need to shut up because you're wrong and I'm right. No, that's not how we're doing it in this household. My son, if he has something on his mind or on his heart that he needs to express, I will let him express it freely. And I feel like as he gets older, that's going to be an issue being around my family, because my family is so used to how things were before. Oh, I'm the parent, or I'm the guardian, or I'm the elder. You're not going to talk to me in that type of tone or in that disrespectful way. If you feel disrespected, you're triggered by something and you need to heal. Because my son is simply expressing how he feels about a certain situation and you're upset about it. That's not okay. You're upset because he's expressing how he feels. That's not okay. You feel me? So that's another thing, another generational curse that I'm breaking, applying that towards my son. And there's several other things that I will be applying when it comes to my son, as far as breaking generational curses. Because like I said, my son, if he needs to swear, as long as you're not disrespecting me, calling me out my name, if you need to cuss, if you need to yell, you need to scream and let that shit out, let it out. Because in this household, you're allowed to express yourself freely. Because I felt I wasn't able to express myself freely, because if I spoke on certain things, why you always talking back? Why you always getting smart? Don't be getting loud with me. I'm your mom. You're my child. I know you're my mother. I know you gave birth to me. But I am my own separate human, just like you are your own separate human, and you have your own emotions and feelings about certain situations and certain things as much as I do. So I should be able to express them freely, just like you walk around the house yelling and, oh, y'all need to be doing this, y'all need to be doing that. Okay, Just how you are able to express yourself freely, I should be able to express myself freely. And I felt like in the household that I was raised in, I was not allowed to do that. So a lot of the times I felt myself isolated to hold my tongue because I triggered people in the house off of little things that I did that they were not okay with. So that's another reason why I kind of rushed to get out of my household. It literally was not because, oh, I wanted to have boyfriends over, because at some point when I turned 18 after graduation, my mom started to let my boyfriend come over. So it wasn't never about a boyfriend thing or having male company. It wasn't nothing about that. It was literally because I liked my peace of mind. I like my own space. I like to isolate, because when I isolate, I gain so much clarity. And before I was young, I was not old enough or mature enough to realize that isolation will gain you the most clarity. And I didn't know that, but now that I'm an adult and I've had several spiritual awakenings, I know that self-isolation is very important for me, because not only do I gain isolation, but it's a way of healing, because I'm able to think through certain situations and reflect through certain situations, and I'm able to get them off my mind and off my chest, because I was able to allow myself to work through these things without being distracted or having another person's opinion on something. And so, yeah, I'm really just learning. And then it's a lot of, like, me being a first time mom, a lot of people have their own opinion on certain things. It's like, I don't need your advice. I don't need your opinion, because how I parent is how I parent. How you parent is how you parent. I would never step in and tell you how you need to be parenting your kids, because your household is different from mine. I don't know what you go through. You feel me? So it's just really keeping an open mind. And then another thing is like this, I'm gonna hold you accountable. I used to be very afraid to speak up to my parents, especially my dad, because he put this fear in me where I felt like I couldn't really express how I felt or whatever. And this is where it's about to get deep. So I just know that I'm going to be the person in my family to hold people accountable for their behaviors, their actions, their words, and all of that. For one, I'm not going to continue to repeat myself. If I feel disrespected, uncomfortable, or unappreciated, I'm moving around. You won't see me around. If I feel there's a fake energy or weird energy, I'm moving around, because I'm only going to put myself in environments that welcomes my energy, that wants me to be around. I see right through so many people, but I choose whether I'm going to acknowledge it or not, because some things don't deserve your energy. Some things you just need to see it for what it is, and you just move on and you charge it to the game and you just go about your way. I'm not finna sit here every little thing, address every little thing someone's doing. Like I'm the type of person, I will give you chance after chance after chance to get your shit together, and then if I still see the same behavior, now it's time to hold you accountable, because you did this, did that, and that, and it's not working for me. But anyways, I don't want to get too much into that. I just know that I will be holding everyone accountable, even myself. I hold myself accountable all the time, but I will definitely be holding people accountable for their actions and everything. Even starting with my parents, because when I was younger, like I said, I didn't feel comfortable enough to tell them or express to them how I felt on certain things, because they deemed it as being disrespectful or talking back or whatever, or getting out of line with them, when only I was just expressing how I felt, you know. So I definitely will be holding my parents accountable. My heart chakra is open and my throat chakra is open. When my throat chakra is open, that's a dangerous thing for other people, not for me. It's a healing for me, but dangerous for other people, because I'm no longer holding my tongue. In every aspect, I'm not holding my tongue for nobody, even in the workplace. I'm not holding my tongue with friends, family, relationships, colleagues, managers, none of that. I'm not holding my tongue at all. So it's very important for me to speak on how I feel. And I'm going to start with my family, right? This is literally how I feel. I don't care who sees this, who feels what way about it. If you got my number, you feel some type of way, call me. Growing up, I wouldn't say my household was too toxic. It wasn't super toxic. It just wasn't the environment I needed to be in. I needed to be there to know that these are not my people. I needed to feel everything to know that these are not my people. Now, let me help you understand something. You were born into a family. That does not mean that is your family. And a lot of people will not understand what I just said, and that is okay. But for the people who do understand and will understand what I just said, I'm going to continue to elaborate on it. Everything was already designed for you. The lifestyle was designed for you. Your family was assigned to you. Even your name was assigned to you. Your parents, oh, I'm gonna name her this when she gets out of when she comes and when she arrives, or I'm gonna name him this and da. Like everything is set up for you as soon as you are born. Even your birth certificate and your social security number, all of that is set up for you as you come into this world as this new, fresh human being, was soul being living this human experience. Right? You were assigned a family. That does not mean you have to rock with your family. That don't mean you have to stick with that family just because that was the family that was assigned to you. No. My family, my real family, is my son. I created him. That's my family. Yes, my mom is my family, my dad is my family, my siblings is my family, because that's who I was assigned to. But I don't have to accept them if I don't want to. I feel, and the reason, and not, this is not, what I'm about to say is not the reason why I'm just like, no. I learned, it took a lot to learn. And still as an adult, I'm still like, I'm still learning to put me first. I'm still learning to set boundaries and not allow anyone to cross those boundaries. And I'm also learning to hold myself accountable and others accountable. So it has not just been easy. It hasn't been something I could just wake up and do. No, it takes time. So growing up, not knowing any of this, and now that I've reached the age where I understand, like, your family is just the people you were assigned to when you came into this world, and you have the ability to create your own family. You can isolate yourself away from this family because this family has been toxic. This family is comfortable with passing down generational curses and stuff like that. Yes, they're curses because they affect us in negative fucking ways. The traditional ways affect us. Like, being the person to open everyone's mind to something else and let them know, like, all of this is fake, is very hard to do because some people are very deeply rooted in what they believe in, right? So, but I'm probably going to make this a few part series because it's a lot to talk about in one video. And yeah, but going back to the family, my household, like, I love my sisters. I love my mom, don't get me wrong, but I can dislike them sometimes because one thing about my mom and my other sisters' relationships, they have very close relationships. I feel like my mom is closer to my my other two sisters, than she is with me. And it's okay. We all have different relationships with each other, and that's cool. This is why it's important not to have kids back to back. And I'm not faulting my mom for this. She was young. She did what she did. That's for her to deal with and for her to heal from. But this is why I wouldn't have kids back to back, because I had to grow up fast. I had to miss out on a part of my childhood because my father was not in our household. He was not in our household, so I had to pick up the slack of him taken away from me being a kid, because I had to help my mom watch my siblings while she worked a full-time job to provide for us. So my dad was not in our household, and his excuse is, well, I had to work to provide for you guys. You're missing the whole point, sir. You're missing the whole point here. Money is not you can't buy me. You can't buy a relationship with me. Yes, it's nice for you to pick us up every weekend and take us to the mall, but I need the one-on-one time. I want to create a relationship, a bond with you, something I never was able to do. And still to this day, I still don't have that with my father. It's all good. But getting my part of my childhood taken away from me because I had to step up took a huge toll on me. And yes, I'm still healing from this childhood trauma, because it's like, why me? Why did I have to grow up so fast? You feel me? So I feel like I'm so misunderstood. And when people don't understand me, they like to put an image out on me. They like to, oh, you're this way. And then one thing I hate, not even hate, I just really dislike my mom saying this. Oh, I know you, you're my child. You don't know me. You don't know me at all. Because I promise you, if I gave you a list of things, you wouldn't even be able to answer them. What's my favorite color? What do I like to do? What irritates me? What triggers me? What upsets me? What do I like? What do I enjoy doing on my free time? What are my hobbies? What do I like? You know, like, you can't tell me anything about me, but you know me because I'm your child, right? No. My mom, back then, I had this user mentality, right? And it goes deep. It goes deep because the reason why I was pushed into this user mentality was because when I like I said, I had to grow up fast. I moved out of my mom's house around 18 years old, around 18, 19 years. I think it was 19 years old. I got my first apartment. That was the first mess up because I should be able to stay home with my family until I'm comfortable enough to move out. But no, I was pushed into having to grow up fast because my mom just couldn't tolerate me. My mom didn't want to deal with me no more. And I could tell. She didn't even have to say it. She just didn't want to deal with me no more because of her own reason. I really don't know why my mom. I feel like my mom has had an issue with me since a teenager. And as much as she's in denial, as much as she's like, oh no, I would never feel that way about you. You're my child. I love you. That's fine and all. But you still have your feelings and emotions towards me that you would not even express to me for whatever reason. Or yet you won't even be real with yourself and let me know how you feel about me. You know, I don't know what the fuck what that is, but I was pushed into growing up fast. So taking my childhood away from me because my dad was absent in the home. So me being the oldest child, I had to step up and help my mom because yes, my mom did work a full-time job like I said before. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that like, oh, I was there full-time with my siblings. No, my mom, she was home. It's just I shouldn't have to go from kid to grown-up responsibility because my dad was absent in the home. So that was taken away from me. Then let's go back to when I first lost my virginity. Now this is where shit gets real, right? And I'm going to cry, and that's okay because I'm still healing. And that saying where sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words will never hurt me is a fucking lie. Because them bruises, they heal. Them bruises, they heal. Them words I will forever remember. And as much as I try to like ignore it and like, you know, forgive and move past it still hurts me till this day. And you know, and it's a lot of, it's just, it can be a lot sometimes. But yeah, so the conversation, some of y'all was able to be blessed with parents that are understanding and knew how to have this conversation with you. So like I said, so going back where I lost my virginity, right? And this is why it's important for you to create relationships with your kids to where they're comfortable with coming to you about any situation, because I didn't feel comfortable telling my parents that I was ready for, I mean, not even ready for sex, but I was curious about sex. I didn't feel comfortable with telling them or expressing that to them. So I kind of was really secretive about it. And which is most teenagers. I was around 16 years old when I lost my virginity. And I'm getting very vulnerable with y'all. I'm opening up to with y'all, and it's cool. Like, but yeah, so when I lost my virginity, how it happened was my mom, first of all, I was texting my boyfriend at the time that I had lost my virginity to, or whatever, and I was logged into Facebook on my mom's phone or whatever. Big mistake. I forgot to log out. So she read my messages. Boom. She found out, oh, you lost your virginity. Boom. You snuck a boy in my house. Boom, boom, whatever. Okay, typical teenage shit. Like we be sneaky at a certain age, you know. So she found out, and she didn't even really have a conversation with me. She just was like, "I'm gonna tell your dad," and she told my dad. And my dad, when I tell you, said the most brutal shit to me. This man told me, and this is how you know it hurts me still to this day, because I'm able to remember it like it was yesterday. This man told me, "You are a stupid bitch for not waiting until you're old enough. That was dumb of you to have sex. You're just a kid." Oh, it gets better. "You will never be shit in life." That's what his words was to me. When I tell y'all, that broke my heart. Yes, I fucked up by having sex at a young age. But for my own parents to degrade me, to put me down instead of making it better, you chose to put me down. Oh, it gets better. A couple years later, my sister lost her virginity. Now, she may have been more open, because I told you she have a better relationship with my mom than I do. She was more open. I think she told my mom actually that she ended up losing her virginity. My mom had a conversation with her. They talked it out. They got past it. My dad found out. He played that shit cool. That was strike number 100. Let's just put it like that, because there's been several events that led up to me just not giving a fuck about my family. And it's a lot in between I just would rather leave out. But that still sits in my head till this day. And for me to be so forgiving, and for me to move past it, and have I really moved past it? Because it still sits on my heart, and it still sits in the back of my mind every time I'm around this man. I'm like, you the same person that said I would never be shit, and look at me now. I graduated high school on time, didn't have to wait. Graduated high school, my graduating year, did not have no kids during my high school years. I had my first son at 24 years old. Literally, I had my son on my birthday, 24 years old. I got through my whole teenage years and a part of my 20 years without no kids. I moved into my first apartment at 19. Mind you, no kid at that time. Moved into my first apartment at 19. I bought a car with my own credit. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I feel like my parents envy me. I don't give a fuck. Feel it how you feel. Oh, I can't watch him this week because I gotta do such and such. I am so understanding, because I know that my life does not their life does not revolve around mine, or revolve around watching my son. So I'm understanding. You could call me, "Oh, I can't watch him this week." That's okay. I understand. It's okay. I'll figure it out. And you know what I do? I give it to God, and God figures it out for me. And I feel like that there, and then on top of that, I'm doing everything different. On top of me being a generational curse breaker, I'm becoming a multimillionaire. I have a podcast. I have a business. You feel me? I'm a content creator. I'm doing everything different that my family does not do, or does not open their mind to even do. So with me having all this success, on top of being able to provide for my child and take care of my child, and my parents not having that when they was my age, I feel like they project that envious ass energy onto me, and in a way a little jealous. And I'm not gonna keep saying this. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I'm only against who I used to be. Oh, I know you're a user. That's what my mom used to call me. Oh, you're a user. Mom, you pushed me out to learning things on my own. You pushed me off the porch. I didn't get to jump off the porch myself. I was pushed off the porch. I had to move out. Literally, as another thing that broke my heart, y'all, I promise you, I kid you not. And this is why it's hard for me to even be around my siblings or my mom, because it still breaks my heart to this day, where I remember the day I was going over her house because she had kicked me out. She was like, you know what, you got to move around. I was going over there to pick up my clothes. Now, mind y'all, I didn't get disrespectful. I didn't get loud with her, no nothing. This woman put her hands on me and proceeded to fight me. Oh, the bets was off there. I'm sorry. I'm putting my hand, I'm fighting you back. And then my sisters jumped in because, like I told you, they're real close with my mom. They jumped in. My granny was living with my mom, and she came to try to fight, break up the fight. I guess she ended up falling or whatever. And my mom gonna say my boyfriend pushed her over, because my boyfriend was there with me, you know, to make sure everything be smooth, make sure, you know, he was the mediator, because he was cool with my granny, he was cool with my siblings. My mom didn't really like him that much or whatever. So like, he was just being the mediator, making sure everything went cool. So I went to go pick up my stuff from her house or whatever, and she just get to fighting me. My sister jump in. My granny fell over because she trying to break up the fight or whatever. And they gonna say my boyfriend pushed her over. He did not push her over. He was getting her out the way because we was all tussling. He was moving her out the way, trying to take my sisters and them off me. First of all, they tried to jump me. How you jump somebody, you ain't beat my ass. That's the crazy part. Not a scratch, not a bruise, not a nothing. But that's neither here or there. That big ass brawl ended up with me in the back of a police car, which is fucked up. But that's just go to show you, like, it's always been them against me. And that's how I feel. That's literally how I feel. I feel like it's always been them against me all the time. So I ended up in a police car after. That's just one event. But like, that's what led me to get my first apartment or whatever, because I was pushed out there. But yeah, my mom was always like, oh, you're a user. Well, you didn't make me comfortable enough to just come in your room and talk to you, have a genuine conversation. You didn't make me comfortable enough to be like, oh, mom, let me go pay for your nails. Oh, mom, let me send you this money because I love you. You didn't make me comfortable enough to gain a friendship within our relationship as mother and daughter. I didn't have a friendship with her. And friendship is important to have with your parents, because that friendship relationship, that friendship boundary setting, it allows me to open up and be vulnerable. It allows me to be comfortable with you, to let you know how I'm feeling in a certain situation. But you didn't create space for that. And their excuses, my parents, when I say they're, oh, we were young. Okay. After the first child, you didn't learn your lesson. You kept having more. You had 3 after me. 3. And you want me to sit here and be understanding because of your circumstances? No, I didn't ask to be here. Thank God I am here. But I didn't ask to be here. You feel me? So it's just a lot that I grew up. I'm still healing from traumatic experiences when I was younger. But yes, words hurt. Words hurt. They stick to people like fucking glue, like white on rice. I don't care what nobody say, oh, I forgive you. I am very forgiving. I'm very forgiving. But I'm not going to allow that shit no more. I'm speaking up and I'm holding you accountable. What my mom says to me, her behavior towards me, it's all good. My dad, you was my first heartbreak. But it's all good. You know, and that leads me, I'm not gonna get too much into my childhood. I just wanted to open up about some events that like led me to be who I am today, because it's like y'all pushed me out there. I literally had to learn. When I moved out my mom's house, I wasn't the person to call my mom like, oh mom, how you do this, how you do that. I figured that shit out on my own, because my mom yet did not make me comfortable enough to call her and be like, mom, how do you cook rice? You know, like, I taught myself everything. I taught myself every single thing. And it was supposed to be that way. I was supposed to see how my family is, so I don't get too comfortable with my family and their behavior. So that way I'll be able to break those generational curses. That's why God made me a mother. And now I can apply what I've learned to my son. And if y'all want me to get deeper into my childhood, we can do that. I'm cool with it. I just wanted to let y'all know a couple things. I just wanted to tell y'all a couple things that has me still triggered by this day. Like, I cannot stand when my mom say, "Oh, I know you. You're my child. I'm your child, but you don't know me." And instead of you accepting the fact that you don't know me and taking this time to try to get to know me, you're in denial so fucking much. You don't even see it. You don't know me from a can of fucking paint. You couldn't tell me nothing about myself. All you want to hold on is, oh, you have this user mindset. Because you pushed me into survival mode to where the only way I looked at you was as a resource. I'm late on rent. Oh yeah, let me call my mom. Maybe she can help me. I need food in my house. Let me call my mom. Maybe she can help me. I couldn't call my dad because I didn't know where he was half the time. I didn't know what he was up to half the time. I only had one actual parent that I can call sometimes. And it was so uncomfortable for me to call my mom and ask her to help me with anything. So don't make it seem like I was picking up my phone to call my mom for every little thing. No, my mom was my last resort. If I could not figure it out on my own, I called my mom to see if she could help me. I literally went down, like, I remember when I was 19, I promise you, like, I was so close to being evicted. Because I was so behind on my bills. I had just quit Walmart because I was working at Walmart, and I could not afford my fucking bills. And the dude I was dating, we broke up or whatever. We had gotten in a big fight, and he left me with all the bills. That's a lesson learned, to never let a man live with you. But I would literally call the motherfucking government office to see if I can get some emergency assistance before I called my mom. My mom was literally the very last resort. So I would hate for her to ever think, oh, I always called her. She was the first call. Because no, you was not the first call. You was the last call. Because at this point, I have no other resources. So that's why it looked like I was a user to you, because I didn't have a relationship with you where I can call you just to have genuine conversation. I didn't have a relationship with you to just be around you on some genuine shit, because the energy didn't align. The vibes wasn't there. You didn't like me starting as a teenager. You loved me. Yes, you loved me because, oh, I'm your mom. But you did not like me. That's why you were so quick to get me out of your house. And then you reminded me all the time, oh, ever since you left, it's been quiet around here. That's heartbreaking as fuck. Because when I was in the house, I was quiet. When I was in the house, I didn't bother nobody. When I was in the house, I stayed to myself. And when you did let my boyfriend come over, what we do, we just chilling in my room. But now I know I was taking up space, but I needed to take up space. I needed to be pushed out into the world so I can learn, so I can see, so I can gain that clarity, so everything can be fucking revealed. It made me a strong ass woman, because now that every obstacle is thrown to me, I know how to handle it. Let's get back to my dad. Oh, you're a stupid bitch. You will never be anything in life. Oh, how the tables have turned. My dad was in jail for 5 years, right? Or was it 3 or 5? 3 to 5 years or some shit like that. I don't know. He was in jail prison. And something told me to reach out to him. I was like, all right, let me just put my differences aside and let me reach out to my dad. I reached out to him, genuine conversation. I was excited to tell him he was becoming a grandfather, and when he got out, it was cool, fine and dandy, and my dad is doing good or whatever. But my dad is so used to having the spotlight on him. He's so used to having all the attention on him, because in his family, in his household, he was the son that was the hard worker, the money maker, the go-getter, So he was so used to all the attention being on him. And he's still the same fucking way. Because even when we have family events, he's the jokester. He's the one to make you laugh. He's the, you know. So I feel like, and I'm so serious, I feel like my dad thrives off of knowing that he's here and somebody has to be down here in order for him to thrive. And I feel like, and I don't give a fuck, because I know he probably gonna see this. I don't give a fuck. He feels that I have to, I don't know how he feels about other people, but me, I feel like he loved that my car broke down. He enjoyed that, knowing, you know, that was an obstacle, because it's going to lead me to needing him to fix my car. He needs somebody to need him. And I'm not that way. And then he's so used to putting fear into me as a kid, and now that I'm an adult, I speak the fuck up. Oh yeah. This is a message for you, Dad. You lost my respect a long time ago when you disrespected me. Instead of being a great example, instead of telling me, oh, baby, I know things happen in life. When I lost my virginity, I feel like I envisioned this conversation going a little bit like, you know, I'm sorry, I understand. You know, you're young, you get curious. That fucking conversation did not happen. It went straight to disrespect. So you lost my respect a long time ago. You lost my respect when you left my mom to take care of us on her own. You lost my respect then. But I was a kid and I didn't know fully what was going on until I was old enough to understand what was going on. You lost my respect then because you laid down with my mom to create children, but your excuse was, oh, I gotta work to provide. Interesting, because my mom also had to work to provide. I've held too much hurt in. I've bypassed my feelings and my emotions on certain things, all because I cared about how he would feel. No, not no more. You lost my respect. The only thing I can respect you for is being a man, getting up every day and making your money and not sitting around and being lazy. That's what I can respect you for. But being absent, I cannot. The disrespect towards me, I cannot. Those days are over. That's why it's so easy for me to say certain things around you, because I don't have that level of respect for you. Yes, I'm getting this off my chest and I don't care. I don't have that level of respect for you because you disrespected me a long time ago. And your reasoning, oh, I'm the parent. I don't give a fuck, but I am me. I am my own human being who has feelings and emotions. So yes, you broke my heart. You was my very first heartbreak. My mom was my very first enemy. Call it how you want it. And I know my siblings probably gonna see this. She's lying. Stop fucking playing with me. Because you know damn well I'm not fucking lying. Y'all all had a different relationship with my mom. So don't sit here and don't try to read my story for me. Don't try to tell my story for me. Because I lived in a different pair of shoes than my siblings did. I had it harder. A lot harder than my siblings did. So don't compare how my parents dealt with you to me. Because I was dealt completely different. Back to what I was saying. So there was a lot of hurt, hate, anger built up from my parents alone. And then not having nobody in my corner, not having nobody in my circle to talk to or to take my side. I always had to defend myself. So I've always been in defense mode because I had nobody to defend me. I've always been in a survival mode because I was pushed out into the world at a young age. But I learned, I evolved, I matured, I've grown to where I can forgive these people and still be around these people, laugh with these people. But I have not forgotten how you treated me, how you talked to me. And now that I'm an adult and I have full control over my entire life, I don't want to sit around those same people. Which brings me to my next point. Why would I take advice from you? One, this is a general statement. For one, I would never take advice from anybody who's not in a position that I would want to be in. If you're not sitting in that chair that I want to be sitting in, I will not be taking advice from you. And I'm definitely not taking parenting advice from my parents. Because y'all didn't have no guidance. Y'all didn't have the right influence in your life. So why would I take that same information and apply it to my child? Hell no. I'm standing on business with this one. Let me tell you something. You will respect me. You will respect my boundaries. You will respect my son. That's bottom line. And if you don't respect me or my son or my boundaries, you will not be allowed to be in my energy or his energy. And that's bottom line. I'm telling you, my family make it so easy for me to isolate myself because not a single one of them is in a position where I would want to be. And I'm not talking down on them because their life journey is their life journey. However they gonna live their life is however they gonna live their life. But I guarantee you there's not a single person in my family that I would rather switch places with. So why would I take advice from any of you? You so distant, you don't come around. Why would I come around when y'all don't even like each other? Y'all don't even like yourselves, but y'all tolerate each other and y'all deal with each other because, we're family. Fuck family. Fuck family. Your family be your first enemies. Your family be the motherfuckers that talk down on you and disrespect you and cross your boundaries so fucking quick, and then to offer them to turn around and be like, that's just family. No, not over here. This throat chakra has been unblocked. So if you thought I was holding anything in, I'm not holding shit the fuck in. And I promise you, I can't even say I got receipts because these is real life events that has not been in a text message or has been exploited on the internet. No, this is shit I've been through. And they know they put me through these things. They know that. Deep down inside, they're still trying to apologize for this shit. I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it. So yes, I feel like my first enemy was my mom. And my first heartbreak was my dad. And my whole entire family is comfortable with the generational curses, the traditional behavior, and no one wants to change it. We have other people like me in the family that's black sheep, but they're comfortable with not speaking up. They're comfortable with not changing the behavior. They're comfortable with just being a family member in this fucked up ass family. And it's fucked up on both sides, on my mom and my dad's side. And I'm not perfect. Fuck no, I'm not perfect. But best believe I will not fall into victim with you motherfuckers that's continuing to do this generational ass bullshit. I'm not doing it no more. So if you take this video personal, that's on you, baby. That's a part of you, and you, something that triggered you in this video is a part of you that needs to heal. Because I stated nothing but facts. I didn't call none of y'all out your name, and I didn't disrespect none of y'all. So just know, that's how I feel. And I'm standing on that. This was episode 12, and I'm going to end it here. We almost at an hour. This was a long video. If you don't subscribe to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit that bell button to receive my post notifications. I post every Thursday at 7 p.m. If you're seeing this right now, you will see this at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow night. Leave a comment down below if y'all want to know more, if I should go further into my family traumatic ass experiences. But I feel good getting it off my chest. And now I'm putting it out to the world. I'm speaking my truth. And that's a wrap, y'all. I see y'all next week.